Hello students and all my viewers. Welcome to Shikshanacha Miti channel. I am Sapna Chauhan. So as you all know that I am teaching you the important chapters of science from standard 8 which are from the CBSE pattern. And as you all know that I am focusing on biology topics which are included in science subject. And here we will study the most important topic which is the need of today's life, that is the conservation of plants and animals. This is the today's topic. So our subject is biology and our today's topic is conservation of plants and animals. So subject is biology and the topic name is conservation of plants and animals. Conservation of plants and animals. In today's video, the subtopic of this video is threat of the biodiversity. Threats of the biodiversity we will study in this video. Threats of the biodiversity. So what about the biodiversity? Before going to the threats of the biodiversity, I want to tell you something informational about us. Living organism not live in isolation. The living organism those are on the earth are depend on one another for their needs. Air, water, soil, those are the non-living natural resources, and plants and animals, those are the living natural resources. In all those all are living organisms are depend on living natural resources and non-living natural resources. Thus the organisms need soil, water, plants, animal for their survival. So what is the ecosystem? Ecosystem includes what? So now ecosystem. In ecosystem there are plants, animals and microorganisms present in the specific area and all the non-living materials present in the specific area. Also that includes river, deltas. Those included all in the specific ecosystem of that area. This is the ecosystem. Ecosystem includes what? Plants, animals, microorganisms, and all the non-living things present in this area. And all non-living things. We can say that like climate, right? Water, soil, river, deltas, etc. are all included in the specific ecosystem. And in ecosystem, thousands of species are survived. Thousands of species are there. So what are the species? What is meant by species? So species here. Species are the organism are similar to each other and they reproduce with each other. Those are the species of the organism. Specific species are the organisms. Now those species, thousands of species are present in the biodiversity or this ecosystem, and those ecosystem having so much biodiversity. So now we are going to the biodiversity. What is a biodiversity? Biodiversity, the diverse variation in living organism and non-living organism, that is the biodiversity present on the earth. So all organism having very diversity in their living things. So if we see in the rainforest, about tens of the thousands of the different species which are present in the rainforest. If we talk about deserts, about thousands of diverse species are included in that, and also having the diversity in the microorganisms. So we can say that in the specific area, this is the ecosystem. This ecosystem having plants and animals. The plants of the specific ecosystem are the flora. Plants are the flora, and the animals are fauna. Flora and fauna. The diversity in the living organism in the specific ecosystem, that is the biodiversity or the biological diversity. Those flora and fauna are included in the ecosystem. Our country India is also having the diverse type of microorganism, living organism in it. So the ecosystem is very having diversities. So we will go towards the importance of the biodiversity. Importance of biodiversity. The importance of biodiversity in each living organisms. In an ecosystem, living organisms are depend on one another for their needs. If you see the animals are depend on the plants for their food. If we talk about animals depends on plants. Then plants depends on the soil nutrition. Plant depends on the soil nutrition. And the nutrition of the soil is maintained by fungi and bacteria. Soil nutrition, fungi and bacteria. Fungi and bacteria decomposes the plants and animal waste. Form the soil nutrition, and this soil nutrition get by the plants, and then plants are used to eat by the animals. Those is the cycle. This is the cycle we can see in the ecosystem. This is very important to survival of the one another or all the species of the ecosystem or the environment. If any few organisms, loss of any organism affect the ecosystem, can affect the ecosystem. This biodiversity like showing flora, different floras and faunas, shows the diversity. This is because the diversity, the extinction of species is there, and prevention of the loss of the any species is there. So all is the cycle. So now we will see the biodiversity in the forest. About one fifth of our India's country's area is covered under the forest. 1/5 area of our country is under cover of the forest. About 20.6% of land. About 20.6% of land is covered under the forest. As you all know the importance of forest. From the forest we can get the valuable things like timber for constructing and wood for fuels, then wood pulp for making the paper, then resins, lac, gum, timber. Those are all the valuable things which are got by the forest. Then forest protects the wildlife also. Forest is also important for the wildlife. All the wild animals are depend on forest for food and shelter. And in the forest also helps to maintain the balance between carbon dioxide and oxygen. By which the plants get carbon dioxide from the atmosphere and releases oxygen in the atmosphere by the process of the photosynthesis. As you all know. After that, next point is forests are very important. They maintain the temperature. As you may have noticed that the forest near any city is somewhat cooler than the city. Then next one, the forests are helps to maintain the water. Why? By which the rain water flows by the rain. They are absorbing by the plant's roots and the plant's root. That's why they maintain the water range in the forest. After that, forest also helps in the soil erosion by the water and wind. Those are the importance of the forest in the biodiversity or the ecosystem. So now we will go towards the traits of the biodiversity here. So now we are going to the traits of the biodiversity. Traits of the biodiversity. Under some heading, we will understand the traits of biodiversity. What are the traits of biodiversity? Deforestation. First, deforestation. Second one is wildlife trade. Third one is climate change. And fourth one is introduction of new species. In the ecosystem. Under those heading, we will see the traits of the biodiversity. So here, what is deforestation? cutting down forest and use of land for the other purposes, that is the deforestation. Deforestation and loss of habitat also there, and loss of habitat. Loss of habitat also there. By cutting plants in the forest for the many purposes, for farming. As you all know that population is growing very much, so needs of the food is very much there, so that's why for the farming also deforestation is also there. Deforestation also there because of the growing cities, then deforestation, due to the deforestation, for the ores, like for the minerals like coal, petroleum, to get coal, petroleum, the deforestation is done. For for many reasons the deforestation is done. And another one is overgrazing of sheep, cattle, horses. Due to that also deforestation done. Why? Because overgrazing of the grasslands affect the deforestation, and tiny plants also eaten by those cattle, sheep and horses. Why? Because the lower leaves are eaten by those animals and the roots got infected or diseased. Deforestation also done by the some natural climates like diseases or like insects or pests, and climate change like forest fires. Those are also affect in the deforestation. The next one we will see the wildlife trade. In wildlife trade, we can say that some animals having their important parts like tiger. If we say tigers are killed for their some important parts like skins, claws and other important things. Elephants are also killed for their teeth, which are used in many areas. Some animals are killed for their horns, and those all skin, horns, teeth all are very valuable in markets. After that, we will see about the climate change in the forest. Due to that, deforestation done. Pollution, climate change, pollution, climate change and pollution we can say, human activities. Pollution is done by the human activities. Pollution in air, water, soil. The organism those are living on air, water, soil, those are killed by the pollution of that resources. After that climate change, you can say the climate change. Nowadays global warming is increases day by day due to the carbon dioxide, and that's why the melting of ice caps is there. As a result, they increases the sea level, and all this can affect the ecosystem of coastal area. After that, we will see the introduction of new species. Due to the introduction of new species, ecosystem affects. By some human activities, some introduction of new species is there. This can disturb the food chain of the ecosystem, and that may result in the species killed by this introduction of the new species in the ecosystem. These are all the threats of the biodiversity. So here student, this is all about this video. I hope you all understand it very well. If you have doubt, you can say in the comment section. So now I want to give you some homework. Before that, what we studied here? First, biodiversity, importance of the biodiversity and importance of the forest. After that, we studied threats in the biodiversity, which are those deforestation, loss of habitat, then wildlife trade, after that climate change and pollution, and after that introduction of the species. So see here student, I am dusting it out and writing the homework here. So here you can see students, all are the 3 questions I am reading out here. First one, what are the threats of the biodiversity? This is the first question. Second one, write the importance of the forest. Third one is importance of biodiversity. So here students is all about today's video. So now thanks for watching.